Okay, here we are. Today, day one, lunes, Monday, el 9 de agosto, August 9th. It is the first day of class, primer día. We have 179 to go. We got to get going. So we have our welcomes. I think we've already gotten that established. I think we have our seats set up. This class is going to be set up the way you would expect a class to be set up. I will be explaining that in the next few days. People will be in and out, so I'll keep repeating. If you're here from day one and you don't miss a day, you'll get some repeat. But help out everybody else that's coming late or coming from another class or whatnot. Or so help make sure everybody gets on the same page so we can get the most done. Now, first today, alphabet. The alphabet looks very similar to the English alphabet. There is only one letter difference. We'll take a look at that in a second. And they all have names. That's what is in the pink lettering up here. If you can see it, it's okay. If you can't, then I will say the first line for you. And the letters have names. In English, we go A, B, C. C is not necessarily the sound of the letter C. It's the name of the letter C. Every time you see C in a word, you don't say C. Sometimes you do, but not always. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you'll notice something. The E sound on B, C, D, E, F, G is very consistent. The letters have very consistent sounds. They tend to only have one sound. A couple have a little fluidity, but almost all have very one sound. Okay, so again, A, B, C, D, tongue behind your top teeth, D, E, F, G. And my G is super strong. You can just kind of pronounce it as an H sound, like G, right? And we'll do the other letter rows later on another day. Back to our list. More consistent sounds. As I said, the sounds tend to basically just have one sound, or the letters tend to have just one sound. Most letters only have one sound, which makes pronouncing them pretty straightforward. The alphabet itself is called the abecedario. That's listed right here. And you could call it alfabeto if you prefer, but or abecedario. You can see the letter A, B, C, and D right there. Now, that is, keep in mind, there's one sound for when you see an A, you're going to say A. When you see a B, you're going to say B. When you see the Q, it's always K, always. When you see now let's get the next one. Say, we have a new letter. What do we do with this letter that is fairly new to us? These other letters we can kind of figure out. We've seen an O, we've seen an X, we've seen a Z. What about this guy over here? And it's just an N with a ny at the end. So it's ny. So we have año instead of ana. We have a word like tamaño. Some of you have heard the last name Munoz, right? And you know it's just an N in English, and then you kind of have to know it's ny. Well, in Spanish, they long ago, 500 years ago, they decided, let's make it easy. Let's give you another letter with a little squiggly on top, and then everybody will know, oh, that's one of those that you pronounce the other way, ny. It's the only letter that's unique to Spanish, and they're very proud of. Spanish speakers tend to like this because they're the only language on earth that has this particular letter. All right. Enye. You say everything in the Spanish alphabet except for the H. When you see an H, you skip it. You still have to write it when you write it. But when you say history in Spanish is historia. You go right to the I after the H. Now, the H sometimes changes the sound of the C. You can still have a ch sound. CH is still chico. You've heard the word chico before for a boy or something that's small or something that's cute, right? But it doesn't have a sound on its own. The H by itself is just silent. Now, last one, greetings. We have a couple. Oh, that one got erased. Okay, here we go. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo van las cosas? ¿Cómo estás? The one that maybe the most people know the first day of class coming in. And then everybody will get used to this one because I will say it frequently. How's it going? As you can see over here, this is the translation. ¿Cómo te va? Como te va? This is how have you been? That's pretty good too, but a lot of you in this class will not be able to answer that until like Spanish 2. We don't get into the past tense too much in Spanish 1. But the present tense is right now. Como te va? How are you doing right now? Como te va? Yes, very appropriate. Okay.